Good morning everybody, happy Easter Sunday. As you can see in England it is beautiful, bright and sunny and warm, and the birds are singing, and we're being very blessed with the weather at the moment. We've gone from being absolutely freezing cold in England to I think it was 26 degrees centigrade yesterday. For those of you who kind of watch from Australia or warmer parts of the world, you're probably thinking, oh, that's my evening sort of thing. But it's here. It's a bit of a wonderful thing for us English. We don't know what's hit us, and so today what I want to talk about is a subject which I covered during my last workshop in Sweden, and it ties in very nicely with the two chakras that I want to. As if you've been following my videos, I've been working through the chakras from the Earth Star upwards, and we've now got to the kind of the third eye area. I keep pointing at my throat because there's still probably a lot of throat clearance going on out there, but see my previous video. And the third eye and the crown in unification, because it's a subject which, once I explain it, you will probably realise what I'm talking about, because it's happening to quite a lot of people at the moment. And it's called I call it going dark. Okay, now during our time in 3D, which, you know, we're not in 3D on this planet anymore. We're moving very quickly into the fourth dimensional energies and creating 5D as we go along. There's an experience. I'll say experience. There is an initiation that all light workers go through on some level, and I call it going dark. Okay. Now, when we start off on our ascension pathways, when we wake up, when we're first kind of privy to this incredible energy and world outside of our world that we never really realised existed previously, we are literally given everything that we need. We're given our information, we're given our spirit, we're given our intuitions, we're given our synchronicities. Everything is kind of almost poured upon us, so that we wake up in a manner which is quite, it's almost an overnight thing for a lot of us. 1 minute you're asleep and 1 minute you are never going back again. Now this period, this amazing kind of waking up period, goes on for some time, and we learn, we grow, we go through our experiences, some good, some bad, and eventually we come to a point on our mission where we've raised our light and experienced enough of our kind of tests and pathway forks and ups and downs and upheavals, and we enter a period which is it's kind of classified as self-mastery. Now when we enter this period of self-mastery, we have every single one of us on this planet has a very, very tightly knit and very dedicated team of light, you know, like angels and dragons and ascended masters and extraterrestrials around us. All of a sudden it's almost like someone turns the tap off and almost, you know, overnight we stop receiving the information, or we stop receiving kind of the help and the guidance that we are very, very used to. And I just wanted to cover it because I'm seeing it happen to a lot of people at the moment, with the way that the energies are rising so fast and the way that this wake-up process is occurring. There are hundreds of thousands, if not millions of us out there who are now spiritually awake. You know, it's like a wave, it's like a tidal wave that's occurring. And so the process that happened to me in kind of the year 2000 onwards, maybe even before that, will be a very different process to the one that people are experiencing now, because obviously the energies are much higher, they're moving much faster. I had kind of time and space to kind of go through what I was experiencing on a much slower basis. And what I'm seeing now is people are waking up. It's a difference in our soul group wake up times. So I'll explain a little bit more about that later. But people are waking up very, very quickly, raising their energy very fast. Their level of awareness is very, very high, very, very quickly. and they are immediately put into this initiation, this going dark initiation, almost straight away. So what happens with this is the guides, the angels, the ascended masters, all of the inflows, they stop, and it's quite alarming. When it happened to me, I was halfway through writing the first book with Diana Cooper, The Archangel Guide to Ascension. One morning I woke up and I just had no information coming through in any way, shape or form. And I'd had a few warnings before. It's almost like testing the grid. It's like, you know, when power companies turn the electricity off and then they'll turn it off for a few seconds more, and then all of a sudden you lose power for about 12 hours or so. It's very similar to that. So I had a few warnings that this was coming, and then one morning I woke up and I just had no information flowing through whatsoever. I felt like I was completely in the dark. Now, when this happens to us, there's several ways that we can react to it. We can react to it with complete panic, which I did initially, or we can kind of be aware of what's going on and kind of, okay, all right, I've reached this stage of my ascension process. How am I going to formulate my next step? Because the purpose behind it is to test our ability to follow our own truths, follow our own intuitions, follow our own wisdom. And it's a very, very specific test. And this happens when we have reached a point on our pathway where we are considered to be self-sufficient. It's that simple. Like we've achieved enough on a personal and a spiritual level for the guides, the ascended masters, and all of those that have helped us so closely on the early parts of our journeys, to just step back and watch from the sidelines to see how we cope with it. Now, because I'm seeing so much of this, I thought I'd mention it in the video this morning. My route, my option around this, and what you are supposed to be doing when this occurs, is to immediately reroute your sources of information to your heart center. So instead of looking for external kind of confirmation for everything that you are thinking, wanting to do, experiencing, the tests, the challenges that you're going through, instead of asking your angel, asking your guides, you turn inwards and you ask your heart center precisely what is going on and what is to be your next step. And when the heart center starts to take over, you will receive a very different quality of information. That information will be flowing through you. It will be your wisdom, it will be your knowledge, it will be information that is obviously being kind of sourced from a universal pool, but it is coming through you, and it is going to be tied in with everything that you already know, because it is sewn into the fabric of your soul, it's imprinted within your chakras, and ultimately it is coming through you as a source of wisdom, heart wisdom, love wisdom. So I just wanted to touch on that this morning and kind of mention it, because there's so many of us going through it, and like it always seems to be that back in the good old days of 3D, we'd go through these tests and initiations individually, and there'd just be one or maybe a couple more other people who are experiencing the same thing as you, because we were a bit thin and far between, and social media wasn't what it is today. But now I'm seeing large amounts of people going through this. If you listen to this video, don't worry, it's actually a good sign. It might feel very kind of a bit almost scary in a way. All of a sudden, like this kind of connection to everything that you had previously, it's just cut off. And at that point, many of us who can kind of tune into where our guides and our angels are, you might actually see them standing in the background, almost as if they're watching you from the inside of an examination room. And that happened to me very clearly. So if that resonates with you, just sit quietly, turn inwards, and start using your heart center to reroute the information through to you. And it happens to fall into the category of a third eye and a crown initiation, because it's a wisdom initiation. It's telling you that you are now your own guide, your own master. You don't need anybody else to be giving you the answers to where you are on the ascension pathway, what you're supposed to be doing. Do I take this option? Do I take that option? And for me, it was I had roughly a couple of hours to kind of find out how I was going to reroute this energy and this information, because I was writing with Diana Cooper that morning, and we were going to be attempting to cover at least 3 or 4 chapters of the book in a fairly short space of time. So I had to sit there and I had to reroute this information through my heart centre. And once I got used to it, it was a very kind of almost like a pristine quality of information. It felt very different to the information that I used to be given on an exterior basis all the time. But once you've established that flow, it will never go back. You'll never kind of switch fully back to the previous way of doing it, although the guides and the ascended masters and the angels and all of the team that we work with, when they're happy, when they're satisfied with how, how we've gone through this, they will kind of reconvene and we all start working together again. So just take a few moments now to focus on your third eye, because your third eye is how you perceive everything around you. When we go dark, when we go dark, when this initiation, when this test occurs, it's our third eye's connection with the higher planes, with the ascended realms and everything. And it means that we have developed our chakras, we have developed ourselves to a point where we are considered worthy of being let loose upon the world. So just take a few moments to focus on your third eye. See it as a beautiful crystal ball. As you focus upon your third eye, just be aware of the presence of Archangel Raphael stood to your left. A beautiful green, emerald green presence, and just allow him to touch and light up your third eye chakra. Many of you will see kind of almost his green light flooding within the crystal ball of your third eye. If you can sense or see or feel maybe any blockages within your third eye chakra, some of you might actually see a physical blockage, or you might see mist or fog or anything else within your third eye, just allow Raphael to clear that for you. It's almost like cleaning the glass, shining the glass of the crystal, cleaning the crystal of the crystal ball. And as you're focusing upon your third eye, be aware also of your crown on top of your head. The second you bring your attention to your crown, I find it a very physical chakra. You'll feel it moving, you'll feel it tingling. And just sense and see it as pure liquid gold. And being joined on the right hand side by Archangel Raphael, who oversees the development of the crown chakra, and just allow him to touch and light up the crown. If he does so, you'll feel it opening. And the crown opens. It's 1,000-petaled lotus when all of the petals are fully open and it's in full receptivity mode. But as some of you may have already learnt from my previous videos, the crown serves a different purpose in the fifth dimension and with the frequencies we're using now. It turns its light inwards into the keys and the codes and the wisdom and the fabric of our soul. So just allow your crown, as it lights up and opens, to start triggering and activating your internal keys and codes of your own personal mastery. The crown's job is very specific now. It is the driving force of your personal wisdom, not somebody else's wisdom, not my wisdom, not wisdom of anybody else apart from you. Okay, so just sit with that for a few seconds. Just be aware that your crown will be guiding you on the pathway of your wisdom for the next period, foreseeable future, on the ascension process. You can really start to feel the crown opening now, and it's starting to flood your four-body system with streams of golden light, physically, mentally, emotionally and spiritually. You might even start to sense and feel it mixing and merging with the crystal ball of your third eye. It's a very common process to experience. So everything that you project into the world from your third eye is filled and fueled by your own personal wisdom. And just allow a few more seconds for that to occur. Now if you do that simple exercise, which you can do at any time, at any place, anywhere, and even when you're kind of walking around, you can be focusing on what your internal chakras are doing. Just be aware also that grounding at the moment is absolutely essential with the incredible energies that we're receiving. Every time you focus on yourself, every time you bring energy into your body, make sure it's grounded. So just take a few seconds now to bring your attention to your Earth Star chakra below the soles of your feet. This beautiful iridescent silver, almost hematite grey ball just below the soles of your feet, and anchor yourself into this planet, into this reality. Feeling the light of the crown and the clarity of your third eye just shining, but feeling yourself grounded fully and completely into this reality, into the vibration that you wish to achieve and hold for the course of your day. Okay, perfect. Well, I hope that you have a beautiful weekend, and what remains of the Easter weekend is what we're celebrating today in sunny England. And I will see you all soon. I'll be keeping up together with my videos now. I've had a few things going on sort of on a physical level myself recently. So lots of love to you all, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.